Oh, there it is.
Neutral?
There it is. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Dave. If you are new to the channel, this is my 2004 C5 Corvette. And in today's video, we're not driving my yellow Vette. We're going to be driving John's yellow 2008 C6 Corvette. Now the main difference between these two cars, other than the year and the generation, my car, if you follow the channel for a while, if not, if you're new, that's fine too. My car is an automatic. And when we go over to John's car, his is a manual. So, never driven a manual before, but we will give it a shot today. Alright, so here we are in the car now. First things first, this is where I messed up with Scott over at Team 512. I finally actually got into his car. His was the first manual car that I was actually in the driver's seat on. And he actually let me start it, but then he didn't tell me, he left this part out, that you're supposed to put the car in neutral ahead of time, or else you're just going to stall the car out when you take it off the clutch. Because I just started it, took my foot off the clutch, and obviously it lurched forward and stalled out. And Scott laughed at me, and he said he wished he got it on camera, but oh well, he did not. So like John just walked me through, he told me to, you know, check out the clutch, travel, do all that. We ran through the gears a little bit just to get the feel for it. So before we even start it, we'll just put it back into neutral. All right, so then once the car's in neutral, all we have to do is put it down on the clutch, hit the start button. Wow, your car is really quiet.
It's capped up. It's no the electric cut. It's capped, so there's no.
All right, so now we're started. And what's the first step that we should do here, John?
First thing I'm just gonna have you do is show you how easy this is.
Okay.
You're not even gonna have to push the gas pedal to get rolling. So you're gonna very slowly just come up off the clutch. Okay. And just keep coming up very slow. And you're gonna feel the car start to move a little bit. Okay. And just keep that same off the, and we're gonna roll right. We're gonna roll. Okay. And until the clutch is all the way up. Actually, I'm gonna sit that down because you're scaring the crap out of me. Yeah. I'm just kidding. Okay. Just to show you how easy it is, because the hardest thing is obviously to get out of from a stop to a roll. All right, so now we put it Put it in first. Right. Okay. Don't even worry about the gas pedal for now. So I can take your foot off the brake. You can take your foot off the brake. You might roll back a tiny bit. Do we know? All right, and then ease back on the clutch very slow. Real slow. Keep going. Grab. You didn't stall out, right? Did not stall out. Look at that, everybody. Did not. Wow. So now you roll gas and brake just like regular automatic. Wow, check that out. So when we come to the end over here, when you start hitting your brake and as your RPMs come down, then you're gonna have to push the clutch back in, otherwise it'll stall out. Okay, I got it. So now you gotta do the same thing over again. Now this time, if you want, as you're coming up on the clutch, you can give it a little bit of gas. Okay. Gotcha. So we'll try it that way. And now you got the extra fun of we're natural. Yeah, wasn't too bad of a jerk. It's very easy in a Corvette. I'm telling you, the Corvette, it's not. And then we can shift into second, right? You can, yeah. Maybe once I go around this corner. All right, yeah, we'll do it on a straightaway. All right. Then foot off the gas. Yep, clutch in. Clutch in, back to second. Just let the clutch up. So, and you can, as you let the clutch up, you can start to hit the gas again. Yeah, I got you. So this time after you go, when you make a left here, go on a little more and then try going into third. So you just here, not sure why anybody else in the lot. put it in, let it up in neutral almost, right in the, yeah, third. There you go. Just off the clutch. So that's third. So if you can get out of first and you can get into second, then you can drive a manual.
Gotcha.
Cool. It's a little less dramatic than I thought it would be, you know.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna
struggle.
I thought we
more.
were gonna throw smoke.
No, no. The trick is that if you're on a hill, obviously it's a lot more challenge.
Oh, yeah.
If you're on an uphill, I should say. Is that harder or easier than you thought it would be?
You know what? It's a little easier than I thought it would be. If I can do it, freaking anybody can do it.
Have you done this at all?
I have never done this before in my life. Never. The only time I was ever in a manual car was in the passenger seat. Never in the driver's seat. Except for when I stalled out Scott's.
There you go. Okay. This one you didn't. Now you can show them. Now, as you're obviously, if you're trying to drive more aggressively and stuff like that, that's, you know, there's a little trickier and a little bit more.
Instead of going left like NASCAR drivers do,
right.
let's make it right. Let's try to make it right.
Let's get on the highway.
I need to put the first gear first. Not terrible. Not terrible.
It's all right. You haven't stalled, so that's huge. Careful, nobody's flying up through here. You know they have a stop. People are going to ignore it because it's a closed down lot here. So if you want to, we'll do a lap or two.
Yeah,
whatever.
we'll
pull on the highway or King's Highway. We can fire it up. It's up to you.
Try that out.
You got your keys for to drive off from there.
Yeah. Let me just, next time around we'll just lock it up.
All right. Yeah, besides race shifting, like heel toe and all that silliness, the hardest thing is just getting out of from a stop to moving. I was close to stalling. I was going down. But it didn't buck, so. The thing too is, like in an automatic, it always tries to put you in that good bandwidth. You know, if you're starting to give it more gas, it'll, like an automatic manual just will not do that for you. So if you're in 1500 RPMs, you decide, oh, I want to punch it, you're not really going to move very, very fast. It's not, it feels kind of counterintuitive. You're thinking, oh, I got 400 and something horsepower, I should be moving, but you don't have that at 1500 RPM. So
I got you.
There it is.
Oh, there it is.
Neutral.
There it is.
Start her up. Nice and easy. That was actually a smooth start that time.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Not bad. Just figuring out where that grab point is, I guess, is where, you know, it takes a little bit of learning, a little bit of muscle memory, I guess you could call it.
Right. Get comfortable knowing.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I already feel my left leg cramping up. This is like.
Well, because you're also very tense too. You're not.
Yes.
You're not relaxed because it's not your normal, how you normally operate. When you do it day in and day out, you're chill. You're relaxed.
Yeah, I got you.
You're probably like tense everywhere without even realizing it.
Definitely. Let's try this from the stop. There we go.
A lot of gravel.
Yeah, loose stuff.
That's
loose
not
stuff.
on
That's
you.
what I'm blaming it on. I guess we're gonna go over to the hill over there on
Do it. Oh, that's a stall.
Oh, yeah.
Got the clutch?
I got the clutch part. And then another thing too, right? You shouldn't like rest your foot on the clutch.
Right,
ever.
right, because you're actually engaging it even slightly without realizing it.
Okay.
And you're slowly burning it, wearing it.
Gotcha.
It's like the brake pedal. Some people that drive with 2 feet, they do the same thing without realizing their foot's always just touching that brake light, and they're wearing their brake pads without realizing. So yeah, I put my foot to the left. There's almost like that foothold there. I don't know if you.
Yeah, the dead pedal there.
Yeah, that's where I rest my foot generally. So if you want to make it right, just so you don't have to cross over 2 lanes.
Yeah.
Same thing. You don't have to punch it hard at the same time. You can just start easing up off the clutch. You'll roll back a little bit, but then you'll start to feel it's got enough torque, the car, that it'll even start moving you forward, even on the downhill.
I got you.
That people can't see out front, but I can see.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Just nice and easy here, you're good. The other thing too is obviously when you normally have the skip shift, which would be you got to go 1 to 4 if you're below certain RPMs or speeds in the C6. I don't have it on this, but
oh, you did the bypass?
Yeah, actually when I got it, it was like that. But the nice thing to remember too is if you're just relaxing on a highway, a lot of times I'll go first, second, and I'll go right to second to fourth. You know, like you don't have to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's kind of nice that you know, depending on how kind of driving you're doing, if you're not in a rush.
I got you.
Brave, huh? Going Red Hill. Curves and the.
Oh yeah. Once you get going, right? It's the easy part.
It's the stop.
It's just the getting going after this red light.
Yeah, you're trying to slide downhill. You're good.
I'm feeling my leg already.
All right. Well,
you need to see that.
If at some point, yeah, you know you see where it's at.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got it.
See. Oh. Okay, that's right. Nice and easy. Don't be on the bike pass here. God, you're good. All right,
there we go. We got it. We got it. Thank you. Thank you.
That creaking was, I guess, a plastic bag a little bit in the wind. I'm thinking,
that's what that was.
What's going on in my car?
That's what that was. Yeah, that had nothing to do with anything mechanical.
So again, your automatic, where it might say downshift, like you're good. You don't have to downshift or whatever, but you know, you would have to do it yourself if your RPMs start getting low, if you're going slow up the hill or something. Yeah. But that's the fun of the manual, is that you're more. It's like you're more engaged in your drive, in my opinion. You know, in your drive. Do I want a manual in bumper to bumper traffic? No, that's the crap side of it. But again, in this car, it's not bad. So it's up to you if you want to go left on Dwight or if you want to go right.
Yeah, we'll go left. When you're braking, you depress the clutch, I guess?
Yes, yeah. Eventually you'll have to, otherwise you'll stall out when the RPMs get too low.
Gotcha.
Gas. You don't have to put it neutral as long as you're pushing the clutch down.
Gotcha.
So if you're in first, you can leave it first, yeah.
Gotcha.
Leave that clutch down. And gas.
Yeah.
Not a big deal, but again, just if you're trying out. How does the suspension feel compared to yours?
You know what? I'm not even paying attention to it.
It's good. Focusing on, on what you're doing.
Focusing on my left and right foot at the moment. steering wheel is definitely smaller on these.
Oh yeah?
I hate that you have a Cobalt steering wheel though.
You know, I mean, I've never been in a Cobalt, so I wouldn't know the difference, but people do complain about that.
Yeah.
It's good, it's got the controls on it, so I like the functionality of it, but yeah, knowing that it's Cobalt is the same exact.
Definitely getting, when you're going though, this ain't bad at all.
It's easy, right?
It's easy. That's the easy part.
Yeah, that's just
it's the getting going part.
If you can get from a standstill moving to second gear, you can drive it, you know. Again, starting on a hill, you know, you gotta get comfortable before you can do that regularly, comfortably. But you drive this for, you know, you drive around for a day, and you're gonna be fine. Like that's how I learned. I just bought my second car, just bought a manual, and literally just went out and around my block and just taught myself. My father, when I was a kid, and I forget it, when I was, I'll say 14, kind of in a parking lot in his truck, just showed me how to get out of first gear. But I certainly didn't remember that when I started again at 18 years old. A little chirp I heard?
A little chirp, a little chirp. That may have been my best shit right there.
I was just
So
watching,
far.
I was only watching the car pull out. I wasn't.
Sorry.
That's all right.
See, you're the nervous passenger. I'm the nervous person driving a manual car for the first time. Alright guys, so that's going to do it for today's video. John was a great help teaching me how to drive manual for the first time. I think I did all right. Stalled out a handful of times, maybe even half a dozen times, whatever it was. But definitely fun experience. Going back a little bit in the past, John actually, he is a subscriber of mine. He did see my one video from about a year ago where I mentioned that I have an automatic C5 and why I have one. And in that video, I actually mentioned that I'd never driven a manual car before. And John lives local to me. He came to the Corvette meetup that we had back in June at Jimmy's, and it was actually his idea to drive his car today. I did not ask him. He actually offered it up to me, so a huge thank you to John for giving me this opportunity, let me try it. We did not see any smoke, we did not smell anything burning, so today was a good day. You know, I learned a lot. Who knows, maybe in the future I will be getting a manual car, but as for right now, you know, that's it for today's video. If you like this, please give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. Thank you and have a great day.